Peace, 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 peace. What's going on, everybody? I'm your speaker, Cosmic Paradox. And before I jump into anything, I want to start this video off with saying thank you to all the followers and all the supporters for y'all patience as I've transitioned the past few months, going through all these continued changes. I've been in North Carolina, recently moved back to Georgia, and I haven't been providing you all with any content. And I really appreciate all the continued support that I have continued to get. But I am making my way back, and this is going to be my first video that I'm going to be doing since all of that has taken place. And it's been about 6 or 7 months since I've really given you guys anything, kind of new. So I'm getting back into the fold of it. And it was so long that it felt kind of awkward sitting down to record again. So, that kind of took a little bit of extra time for me to work myself back as well. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been continuing to support. Like, hey, I got a lot of messages. I saw everybody's messages. Everybody was telling me to take my time, do what it is I need to do. And I really, really, really appreciate that. That was much needed. And I thank you all for the continued support and all of the encouragement that y'all gave while I, took my time out to kind of get things sorted and together. So thank you all for that, right? Now, I want to welcome you all to the mind-expanding world known as Know Thyself Universe, created by myself, Cosmic Paradox, and my husband, the Number God. And it's basically where we dive into the mysteries of the universe and where we explore the hidden connections that shape our reality. We get into a lot of metaphysics, a lot of occult. Here we unravel the threads of metaphysical thoughts, ancient wisdom, and overall just, the deeper meanings that's embedded in a lot of the stories that we love to tell. And the stories that we love in the movies that we watch and the TV shows, right? And you may be wondering, why should we care about the messages that's in movies? And that's a really good question. And one of the things that we need to understand about movies is that movies deepen your understanding of symbolism. So if you're a student of ancient knowledge, right, and you value symbolic meaning and understanding these universal laws and principles that are symbolized through these stories and these allegories, well, then it's only going to enhance what it is that you already know. You see, movies often use symbolism and archetypal characters to convey deeper messages, right? So by examining the occult and metaphysical themes that we can see in these movies, then it gives you a hidden layer of meaning. It provides even deeper spiritual truths when you are aware of what it is that you are truly looking at. Now, it's also important to realize that because there are heavy symbolic messages in these movies, you have to understand the whole purpose of Hollywood, the whole purpose of the movie business, the whole purpose of the propaganda that's often promoted through this symbolism and embedded into your subconscious. So when you go in a movie theater and you sit in a theater, right, and it gets dark, the lights get dim when the movie comes on, and you engulfed in the sound. And oftentimes these theaters, or what, the theaters are based off of, they have these dome-like tops on the top of the building. Is symbolic to your dome, to your mind. So you are allowing this symbolism to enter into the subconscious of your mind. And if you're not aware of what this symbolism means, or what these symbols can be conveying to your subconscious, you're pretty much under mind control. That's what mind control is. It's the impression, you know what I'm saying? It's the things that can be embedded into your mind without you knowing or without you realizing that it's being put there. I mean, honestly, look at how much stereotypes are engulfed in movies, right? And how often people base truths or make assumptions, based on the programming that they are given through these movies. So it's important to understand the power of what enters into your mind. And oftentimes, the purpose of these metaphysical things in these movies, or this symbolism in these movies, is so that you can address, or so that the public or humanity can address some of the most profound questions of existence. So, in questions like, what is reality? Or do we have free will? These are things that we can only think about on a deeper level. And if people aren't prepared or in a space where they can dive deep within themselves, then they're going to stay just on the surface. They're not going to be able to get the deeper meaning behind what it is. And sometimes that's not a coincidence. It's because of the subconscious. It's because of the shadow pushing back and against that resistance that could take you to a higher level. Because once again, when you're able to get into the deeper meaning, right, when you're able to understand these metaphysical principles, it allows you to transcend. It allows you to be able to tap into higher levels of really just to tap into your highest potential. That's pretty much what it's all about. Because even though we, oftentimes just think of occult meaning bad things, in actuality, occult means what is hidden. So you're dealing with what's hidden, whether that's hidden knowledge, right? Whether that's just the things that are hidden from the public, or things that the public often doesn't, isn't able to recognize what's placed behind the veil, being able to see beyond just on the surface. We've all seen the movie They Live, or if you haven't, I highly recommend that you watch that movie They Live. It pretty much lays it out there for you. The propaganda is pushing certain natures within your mind, certain responses within your behavior. Like I said, it's mind control, right? So when you study these things, and when you study how these themes are woven into the movies, all up and through the Hollywood movies, it allows you to see just how much these same stories are repeated to you over and over again. And eventually you got to ask yourself, why they keep trying to tell us the same story? It's pretty much just always the same story dressed up and delivered to you the same way, because it's trying to give you the same metaphysical or spiritual message that one can really only truly reach unless they are able, or unless they are willing to follow that path for self-awareness. And everybody's not courageous enough to be able to do that. So today, the movie we're going to look at is the movie The Adjustment Bureau. And this is a movie that challenges our understanding of free will, destiny, and the unseen forces that may guide our lives. Now, they recently put this movie on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, make sure that you check it out. I believe it came out in like 2011-ish. I may be a little off with that. But this movie came out in 2011. And the reason that I chose this particular movie is because there's more to this story than just what I told you that what it's about. It's more than the plot, because it's very Gnostic and metaphysical in nature. It's really a matrix simulation type of story as well. It has a matrix narrative. And we're going to talk about the similarities between the Matrix and the Adjustment Bureau as well in this video. So when we're looking at this movie, it's not just a narrative, right? It's a reflection of our own spiritual quest. Now, some movies have these things way more heavier than others, which is why we find ourselves talking more deeply about certain movies versus other movies. But even in those movies that are lighthearted and feel good and have that comic relief to it, they oftentimes still have a deep metaphysical theme within them if you have the eye to be able to see it. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into this movie, The Adjustment Bureau.